Well, shit. This was certainly quite the episode. I'm sure this crazy fight scene is going to become quite the focal point for reaction videos and compilations where people will want to see others scream and gush over how over the top this all is. Yoru is so cool and badass, right? Her having conflicted convictions is so deep and meaningful, yeah? The amount of work that has been poured into the production aspect of this episode is certainly commendable, but to me that effort is completely wasted. Obviously, we all have different preferences, and mine clearly don't align with the creative vision for this series. I find Yoru to be an excessively obnoxious character, and this fight scene is an excellent demonstration of why that is. These exaggerated and edgy expressions mixed in with her goofy and carefree attitude towards the act of killing is to me an incredibly effective recipe for an unlikable person. She draws too much attention to her tasteless expressions, which to me clashes with what the show is likely actually trying to communicate. If she is indeed a professional killer who does this for the sake of justice, then she would just get the job done. She wouldn't crack jokes and she wouldn't make faces like this where she looks like she's fucking constipated. This balance between edgy expressions and light-hearted comments is a really strange one to me, as I feel that they directly conflict with each other. They're both opposite extremes that both go far enough into each direction to become frustrating. I'm sure some people will think it's super funny to see this lady complain about having jammed her finger after just having killed several dozen people, but that sure ain't me. And in the same way, I'm sure plenty of people will absolutely swoon over these ugly expressions because their excessive nature makes them stand out in a very obvious way. The animation certainly is impressive, and the overall cinematography and how this was directed was also quite on point, but Yoru completely ruins it for me. Everything just ends up being way too overt, and it thus ends up feeling utterly tasteless. A sad story will quickly go from being sad to being embarrassing if it is too obvious that it is intentionally trying to tug at your heartstrings using every cheap trick available at the author's disposal. And in that same way, these dramatic action moments lose much of their value when the show itself draws so much attention to them by having these ridiculous expressions and menacing eyes and threatening remarks that lead fucking nowhere. If you're going to kill each other, then just get on with it. There's no damn need to blabber on and spew out schoolyard level threats. There's so many moments where people just stand around doing nothing just so some character can finish their internal monologue or whatever too. Super kind of them all to wait for each other. And this whole dilemma Yoru is having about wanting to be with her family or not wanting to be with her family or whatever seems to be going nowhere. I'd be impressed if the show would actually have the guts to meaningfully develop upon this dynamic and maybe have Yoru actually step away from being an assassin, but I seriously doubt anything of the sort is going to happen because it alters the overall premise of the series. Which is totally fine because that premise isn't important anyway, but to the production staff I'm sure it is indeed very important. Anyway, it's going to be annoying for me to see this episode be talked up as some damn masterpiece in the coming weeks, but I guess I've been here many times before. That's just how it goes when you're too deep down this anime hole. God damn it, man. Also, fuck this post-credit scene. This is garbage.